Okay, so jumping right in, our first area of today's webinar is Homebot and exploring Homebot. Homebot is an app that is free to you. You simply request it from us, whether you're a homeowner or aspiring to be a homeowner. Homebot can be wildly informative, educational, and can take a lot of the questions that you have and answer them right on the tip of your fingers. So you can do expanded searches of neighborhoods, what properties are moving the quickest, what's the cheapest area, and you can maximize your value if in reference to interest rate and what type of a loan and different aspects that you might choose to do in order to really accelerate the payoff of principal of your property. Because the quicker you pay your property off, the less interest you pay, which is always advantageous. Lots of bells and whistles in this app. Now, when you first sign up, when we send it to you, you first sign up, and we're going to go through just a little video on that. But when you first sign up, it's going to ask you a few questions, and whether you do or don't own a property will help you to answer, obviously, those questions. But then it's going to send you once a month a report of the area you're looking into if you're buying, or a report of your specific property or properties, plural, and it'll give you increased values, neighborhood activities, interest rates that have adjusted, how they have been looking in the market, the trend. It'll give you all these types of information right at your fingertips. And if you have a question that you're not able to find in there, you don't choose to look around, you simply type, click the button, ask a question, send it off. That comes right to our office. We answer the question, and or of course you can call, but we answer it back right through the app, and boom, you have that additional knowledge that you were looking for. So, let's just go ahead and play that video. So now, of course, HomeBot is a fantastic app. I encourage you to take advantage of it. It is for people that own homes or multiple homes and or aspiring to own a home. If you're looking for a home, this is knowledge that would be wildly beneficial. And remember, it's free to you, and comes with professional assistance in that if you have a question, you simply comment in there. It sends it to me, to our office rather, and we answer it. Okay, so fantastic. Moving forward, let's chat about selling. So first time sellers in particular, but selling in general, there's a lot that goes into, and so I introduced this into the program late in the series, and I chose to put it in because selling is the way out. And what do I mean the way out? Well, when you get involved in something, if you have an exit plan of any investment, then that's all part of the mental process and part of the process in and of itself. So putting the segment in here allows you to have more confidence in getting into a property and alleviates the anxiety of getting out, whether you own one now or are looking to own one in the near future or distant future. So that's why I put this in here. So in reference to selling your home and knowing that there's other options. So you don't just have to sell it. You can exchange it in a 1031 exchange. You can rent your property, whether it's Airbnb, like Homebot chatted and has an aspect in there that if you decided to rent your property as an Airbnb, it knows what the rental amounts in the area are for your like property, and it can take that income, apply it towards principal, and show you the new amortization and when you would be able to pay that off. So when we talk about selling, we're not only talking about just getting rid of the property. It can be a move across town. It can be a move up into a better house. It can be a move down, smaller, downsizing. So having this information, wildly important. But selling your house can be aggravating. It can certainly be uh, anxiety provoking. And thinking about the walkthroughs and the open houses and the looky-loos and the neighbors. Neighbors are generally the ones that take all your flyers off of the yard sign, and that's okay. Certain buy sellers have had a bit of an issue with that, and I tell them, no, 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 that's okay as long as they get disseminated, as long as people take them, because they're not just looking at the flyer to see what their house might be worth. They're taking the flyer possibly for a friend or family member that might be looking to move into the area. So it's always a good thing, but you do have those bits of aggravation. But I think we can all agree that selling the property quickly at the right price is the end goal, and that certainly makes for a great transaction. However, how are you going to sell it? So we have this slide up, multi-listing service, the MLS, which is available to all professional real estate agents and brokers. Real estate agents and brokers are generally members of the local real estate association and state association, often the national association, as we are. But in being a member of the local association, you then have access to the MLS. And part of your agreement with the association is that while being a member and having access to MLS, you will list all your properties on MLS. Now, MLS is connected to lots of the iBuying platforms. You know them as Zillow, Open Door, Red Bricks, Purple Signs, all these kinds of things. And your listing gets propagated out to them if the listing agent chooses to select that option through MLS. And because your agent has your fiduciary responsibility in mind, they're going to generally click that. I always click that. Why? Not because I like those iBuying platforms, but because the more eyes that see your property, the better, the much better. Also, interesting fact is that not only is MLS one of your better selling agents, right? Because it's your real estate agent that's getting your property out there. The more eyes, the better. So MLS gets it in front of all the professionals. The propagation into the iBuying platforms gets it into the general public if they're choosing to search for a property on one of those sites. But I'm sure that you can recall having gone to, say, the grocery store with a list of stuff, and you come back with things that were never on your list. They just looked awesome. You needed to have it. Or a friend or a coworker telling you about a restaurant or a movie that you just got to go and see, or a house that was for sale. Friends and family, if you let them know you're looking for a house, they are as well going to find that house, rather inform you of that. Why did it choose to change like that? That's just weird. Okay, we're back, hopefully. So friends and family, if they know you're looking for a house, are also going to, if they come across that information, give it out to you, which is why I bring this aspect up of aboutredlands.com. So agents have MLS and it gets propagated. Okay, they've got that. You've got friends and families and a yard sign. Great. You've got that. All agents have that. However, About Redlands Network is huge. For those of you that don't know of it, this is the only of the best About Redlands information site available. AboutRedlands.com is the parent company or the most and major investor of the Redlands Visitor Center, and it's an entire network. So that network is involving um, other social media groups. And let's just talk about the Visitor Center for a moment. So the Visitor Center is located on 5th Street across from Umbrella Alley. Everybody knows Umbrella Alley that's in and around Redlands, but did you know that they have a visitors registry that has registered visitors from Portugal, Spain, Israel, unbelievable, not to mention most of the US states. and that U of R, University of Redlands parents that bring their children here to go to school, when they come downtown and go to Umbrella Alley, because that's a focal point of Redlands, they look across the street, bam, there's the visitor center, and they come in and they're looking for properties often enough. They're looking for properties to buy as a, here's a quote, kiddie condo. So a kiddie condo is a loan that you can finance as an owner occupied, but your child lives in it because they're going to school. So the parents buy it, but the child lives in it. They finance it as owner occupied. It's a great program. So the point though is that when you list with About Redlands Realty, you have all of these additional resources available to you. So how big is their reach? Well, you can see that over 21,000 people follow About Redlands Network on Instagram, and over 109,000 post reach just last week on Facebook. So you look at this whole network, and as well as the MLS and the propagation out to the iBuying networks, and you see that it's about how many eyes I can get my property in front of. So in reference to alleviating that anxiety of selling your property, this is obviously the way to go. More people will see it, and more people will have an opportunity to visit it and possibly make an offer on it. Also, with the About Redlands Network, you see that 80% of the visits are unique visits. And you see the pie chart on the right-hand side, blue, if you can't see the smaller print, the blue portion of the pie chart is new visits. Unbelievable. The listing below, this talks about the percentage of visitors of where they live. 12% is Redlands, which is a large amount, but that's only 12%. So that means that 88% of all other visitors are from outside Redlands, whether they're going to visit or move or their children are going to go to school here. But this is the audience that is available through the About Redlands Network. And of course, it really is. It's all about impressions. We were simply talking about how many eyeballs on your get to see your property and possibly share that with their friends in order to get a reasonable offer. So not only does the MLS put it out there, but listing with About Redlands Realty, you're able to get it into literally 1,000 new viewers a month, and even more the next month that are new views. So very exciting. So, of course, I did talk for a moment, and I'd be remiss if I didn't go into it further. Talked about iBuyers. Now, iBuyers, even in a hot market, is that's it. Let's back up. iBuyers are a platform, and what they are is that you know of them as is Zillow, Open Door, Redfin, Realist, Purple Bricks. I mean, there's quite a few of them. You see the graph on the left, top left. You see how they have increased market share over the years. The graph points 2018 shows that nearly 10% of all sales in the United States were done by iBuying platforms. And you see the black small just raising its head out of the 2018 on the right-hand side. That represents Zillow, that they just got into the market. Opendoor was doing the majority of iBuying, but Zillow has started into the market. And you see the bottom iBuyer market statistics, you see in the center 9.6 is nearly 10% of all homes in 2018 were sold to iBuyers. And then all the way on the right-hand side, 786 iBuyer homes sold by Zillow in the second quarter of 2019, up from 414 the first quarter of 2019. So they nearly doubled their purchases. They call them sales. And then we look at the right-hand side. This is a literal, real, this is from a transaction, Open Door, buying the property. A lot of people think that iBuying or Zillow, Redfin, those, that they're going to save money. Oh, I'm going to use an internet company. I'm going to save money. No. unfortunately, you're not saving money. Look at that. Bottom right, 10.5% service charge. They don't call it commission. They call it service charge and 1% closing cost. You're at 11.5% now, and they have not deducted or charged you for repair costs yet. That amount is pending. And trust me, they do. Which leads me to the fact that, when a home inspection is done on your property that you're selling, the home inspection is certainly done to identify possible issues, but it's also done to give the buyer an opportunity to renegotiate. That buyer is represented by an agent, a spokesperson that knows the area, that has talented resources of repairing these items and can negotiate with and for you. So when you're selling a home, you want a local agent not only to negotiate against the home inspection or really be able to talk face to face with the buyer's agent, not only, but they know the area, they know the property, they know the value, and their income stays in the area. You know, often there would be an iBuyer representative if in fact they're listing it for sale, if the iBuying company isn't buying it outright from you, which is always less, generally 25% less. But if you're represented by a local agent that is working for Zillow, for instance, they generally are making less commission, and their commission is the only dollars that stay in the city of Redlands. And I've been born and raised in the city of Redlands, so have our children. I want the money to stay in Redlands, to fix the streets, to do the parades, to have the bike classic. So if it is Zillow, all the profit goes to Seattle. Seattle's a great place, ranch too much, but that's not what I'm interested in. So that's a serious aspect to consider. So really, we've outlined a lot of stuff. The industry has gotten to be so technology heavy nowadays that that's okay. I mean, that's a fantastic thing. In reference to COVID, we can't really just jump in agent's car now and go around to 6, 8, 10 properties in the same day. We can, but it takes a lot of preparation. You have to speak with the listing agent. You got to set up the times. You can't really be late. You got to wear a mask, gloves, and take antiseptic spray and wipes with you. You have to sign the COVID disclosure. But so often our listings come to us, and certainly for the last several months, we've chosen to do virtual tours. So we have our team go in and do all this photography that allows us to then walk buyers through, or they can see it right on our website, the virtual tour of that property that's listed. And with COVID, believe it, that is the way of the future. It's changed a lot, but it's a must. So we've gone through Homebot and the aspects of how it can help you in reference to finding the property, financing the property, looking at different scenarios, whether you're a buyer or a seller or never owned a home and thinking of owning one. It is a great resource and free to you. Simply go to our website, About Redlands Realty, go to contact us and send us a message, and we will send you the app, no problem. And then, of course, we went into first time selling and selling in general, that there's a better way to get your property sold. And it really boils down to a local agent with the most resources. And I'm pretty confident we've illustrated how About Redlands Realty has the most resources. So I appreciate that.